welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Open for sales and service Monday through Saturday, so I hope you get out there and say hi to Great Lakes Honda City. Great Lakes Honda City, the only place I've gotten a vehicle in over a decade. Many vehicles that I've gotten have come from them. I've spent my history driving Hondas. So thank you to Great Lakes Honda City, the former Honda City of Liverpool. You can go and see them at greatlakeshondacity.com. We are here in the great state of Florida because you know it's my second home. So I am happy to be broadcasting live. We do it every year from Florida. I have been all around Florida from Tallahassee to Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Orlando, as well as Miami very recently, where I broadcasted with Murph just a month or so ago. Actually, it's just a little bit over a month that I was in Miami broadcasting live because that was January 19th for the national championship game in the college football playoff that I was blessed and privileged to be on site on location for. So I want to thank all of Florida for welcoming me. We've been to Davie, we've been to Fort Lauderdale, we have been to Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater. So thank you to our second home of Florida. You know I love you dearly, and I spend a lot of time in Sunshine State. You can see the DTBM network for Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. Superpowered Pop was down here, and we're doing things with Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. So that continues to grow and blossom, and Epic Universe. Of course, Wake Up Call is here with you right now. Comic Book Trails finds its way all over the country, and Do Diz with Dan, I'll be at Disney today. So, and of course, Two Mics, No Filter. That broadcast features my co-host, Andrea from St. Augustine. So, a lot of great stuff here with the Dan Tortora Broadcast Media Network. All one family, all coming together here in our second home of Florida. We're up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. So however you're connected with the show, we thank you for being with us wherever, whether it's live or or once it's recorded, you can go back and listen to those recordings. So we appreciate you for all that you do to connect with the show. And, of course, in today's broadcast, MonPazPopcorn.com is What's Poppin', giving you the list of topics for the day. Murph's going to join me today, as yesterday was a father and son special with Marcus Sales and Marcus Sales Jr. Marcus Sales played for Christian Brothers Academy, my alma mater, went on to play collegiate football for the Syracuse Orange. His son is now down in Concord, North Carolina, where they moved to. He's at the Cannon School, and he is a 2027 wide receiver and defensive back recruit for college football who's already gotten a bunch of offers. And what I heard this morning from Marcus Sales Sr., they've gotten a ton of phone calls, a lot of great response, and it was perfect timing. So I appreciate that, and I hope it continues to grow and blossom for Marcus Sales Jr. as he paves his own way. So God bless to you, my friend, and I look forward to what's to come. So Murph shifted to Tuesday. We're going to be with Murph from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. this morning, talking about Team USA and the irony of both men's hockey and women's hockey getting to the title game, the gold medal game, both facing Canada and both defeating Canada in sudden death in overtime to win their gold medals. And we'll talk about the Olympics overall. Then in hour number 2, as you know, it's Tuesday, we'll have our Bearcat Breakroom, Jerry Cummiskey joining me, the men's and women's swimming and diving head coach. Perfect timing for him because that is an Olympic sport. So we'll discuss that with Jerry, how the season's been going with a very successful men's season at 7-0, women's season at 5-3, and the postseason in the America East. And we'll wrap things up with the ingredients to success we always do on a Tuesday, which is going to center on the topic today, which is simply called Have Hope. All that's coming up here on Wake Up Call. So let's jump into our conversation with the Murphalation Station. He is here with us, picture in picture, wearing Team USA smiling from ear to ear because he bought up all this Team USA gear, autographs, all these cards, patches, the not an RPA, but essentially the essence of one with the autograph and, of course, a patch. So Murph bought up a bunch of this stuff. I don't know how much he's keeping or how much he's selling. I know one thing he's selling, which was from the goal scored in the men's game because I saw it on his story. But Murph, happy Team USA Day, and good morning to you.
Good morning, my friend. I had not had any intention of selling that Jack Hughes card until I looked it up and saw what it was selling for post hero goal, golden goal in overtime on Sunday morning, and I saw it had practically doubled in price. So I was thinking, well, I could always buy another one.
Yeah.
So I threw it on eBay for 400 bucks. Already sold it for 350. Gonna net a little, just a shade under 300 after the fees. Made 120 bucks on the card. I am not gonna complain one bit because I'll buy back another in a couple of months and probably pay about what I paid for it the first time. But yeah, I know I have the team literally sitting in front of me. Not from the hockey team, but like I have the Sean White. That's gonna get graded simply because I want it in a slab.
Yeah.
And this one's probably gone up since I bought it. Michaela Schifrin, who won gold in the slalom. So good for her. I was thrilled to finally see her overcome her jitters at the Olympics. It's her first gold since 2018 in Sochi. Or actually, no, where was 2018? Beijing. But yeah, it was. Those aren't getting sold. Those are literally just getting slabs so that I can keep them, forever. And Jack Hughes, I can always get another one. But I need to order a Jack Hughes jersey. This is a Team USA WBC jersey. So World Baseball Classic. This is, I think, Trey Turner is this one. I had to wear the white just because we wore the white to beat the Canadians. But man, was that a great game.
Yeah, and I was watching it from whatever 1,000 feet in the air. I was at an event this past Saturday, which we're going to be talking about with Josh Gideon of GG Cards and Breaks this week on Wake Up Call. Had a guy was asked to MC a Tops event, a international Tops Rip Night event with Cayenne Anthony as our special guest, and I had the opportunity to do that, and it was insane.
The shop looked like it was packed, man. That looked like you guys had a great time.
It was outrageously packed. People were there the entire event. We kept everything going. We gave away a ton of product. I sold a ton of stuff to the point where one of the guys working at GG Cards and Breaks was like, "Are you getting commission tonight?" And I was like, "I would have killed it if I had commission." I sold so many Topps products, and it was all different sports. So, it was really an amazing experience. It was so much fun for me. I can't thank Josh and Anthony enough for asking me to be a part of it, giving me the opportunity to be there. And I mean, Josh called me up and he was like, "Hey, whatever you're doing on February 21st, I need you. Like, you have to be here." And we made it work, and I was able to be there, and the event was truly just unreal in the best of ways. We had so much fun. Cayenne and I had a great conversation. We got to do a lot of cool things with the kids together. We had a script. We had everything set up. Cayenne decided to come early. We adjusted, we shifted on the fly, and it didn't look like anything had to change, and that I credit the staff for that. I credit Josh, I credit Anthony. I credit our youngest worker of the day, which is Anthony's daughter, Anthony and Beth's daughter, Millie. So we shouted out Millie. Josh got to do his first pack battle with his mom, so shout out to Miss Kathy. I got to meet Mr. and Mrs. Gideon and tell them how great their son is, and I got to MC an event that was beyond my wildest dreams as a kid. And in the middle of the event, the Topps rep, Matthew, shout out to Matthew, and to Keith as well. But, Matthew came up to me during the event, and he put his hand out to shake my hand, and he goes, you are doing an amazing job. He's like, you are doing a fantastic job right now. And I was like, I've been collecting tops my whole life. I don't know what to say. Like, it was just wild and fun and exciting and exhilarating. And I'd do it
No
again.
more
in a
panini
heartbeat.
boxes for you, huh?
Well, and I said to him, I was like, you guys have so many great products. And I was like, you're getting football back, right? Soon. He goes, real soon. And I was like, yeah, like I'm amped. I'm jacked up about the fact that
2027 rookie class.
Tops is getting football back. So I'm really looking forward to it. But no, it was so much fun, and I'm honored, I'm privileged, and I can't even begin to explain. I still have a bunch of things to edit and put out there, so watch out for it, folks. But Cayenne, and it was a great sport. We had a wonderful time. He walked in, he looked at me, he said, "What's up, boss?" I said, "How you doing, man?" So we had some fun together. We chanted together, did some Let's Go Orange, and Tops Rip Night. I'll tell you this: wherever else they have it, we set that bar for sure. And
I can tell you for a fact, I went to 2 different Rip Night events. In comparison, they sucked. Like, they were awful. Compared, based on seeing, because I tuned in a little bit while you were live, and I didn't stay too long, but I saw some of the different things that you guys were doing, and I was thinking to myself, man, I really missed out. Like, that would have been a great time. Now, granted, I also wanted to spend some money. I was trying to find people that wanted to sell some cards.
yeah,
Nobody wanted to do that. Maybe that's part of the reason why I didn't think they were all that good. But I ended up going home, watching TV, and just chilling on the couch until I had to go to my event the next day and beat the snowstorm. But I'm jealous. I missed out. I mean, I just want to know where everybody parked.
Oh,
That shop was about as packed as you could possibly get it.
Yeah, we did not.
It was nuts.
We did not have breathable space when it came to, and it was really from the beginning. Josh was like, "Will you come outside with me?" When we were because I got there. So I had an interesting day. I got up, took a shower. I went to the Syracuse basketball game against North Carolina. I stayed for the first half because logistically I couldn't stay beyond that. And so I stayed for the first half, left, went home, picked up Lily, went and got a very nice guest of mine that was there with me, a guest of honor. And so went and picked her up. And so her and I brought Lily to my dad's, dropped Lily off, and then we went over. I wanted to get to the shop by 3:30 for the 5 o'clock event. We got there by 3:30. We might have been there a minute early, but we got there at 3:30, pulled in. I wanted to make sure we had a spot and that we were in place. And then, so we were there at 3:30 for the 5 o'clock. Josh was like, "Hey, will you come outside with me?" I came outside. It had started to snow a little bit. And there was a line of people it just kept wrapping. And the more I looked, I'm like, oh, there's still people going. And they came in, and I welcomed them in. And then all of a sudden, the room was full. The back room was full. The front room was full. I guess there was people, trading and selling and whatever in the back room. There was raffles going on.
That's insane.
The Wildcat, brought in the food and did a tremendous job of all the food, and Danny and Andrea and everybody there always does a great job. And so there was so many people in the back. Like when the kids came to the front for us to do the giant selfie with Cayenne, there was all these people in the back, only kids in the front with some of their parents and guardians. And the kids themselves jam-packed that room almost 100% alone, not including any of the adults. It was wild how many people were there at GG Cards and Breaks. We definitely set the bar really high for what we're looking to do in the future, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, man. I mean, I also, are there really any other card shops up there other than there? Because if that's the case, then, they probably had, the demand, and obviously they have the established brand that you guys have been having with all the trade nights and everything that they do. And when I saw they posted they were doing it for the first time ever, I'm like, damn, I wish I could be there. It's like I wish I could teleport to Syracuse and go to the Rip Night. But I stopped in a couple different places, and um, there wasn't all that much going on as far as granted, I missed part of the day, but I wanted to be there for trade nights, which were kind of sort of non-existent. But that was maybe just where I went or something like that. Not gonna fault the shops I went to, but maybe it was just a thing of where I went to in Jersey. But I'm really jealous that I wasn't that I wasn't there, because that definitely looked like a good time.
Yeah, no, and it would have been awesome, to have you there. And I thought about that too. I'm like, Murph's gonna see this and he's gonna be like, wow, and it was.
I mean, like I said, the
it was
place
wow the
looked
whole
like
time.
you couldn't move in there,
Yeah, no, it
which is
was.
a great thing.
Yeah, and I was
Might have
I
been
was behind.
a little bit scary for,
Yeah,
in case God forbid something happened, but still.
I was behind the display case, so I was all good and got to talk with the kids and have fun with them. And like I said, I mean, I sold so many Tops product things. It was wild because there was constantly people coming up, and I was like, "Can I help you?" And we gave away a ton of stuff, but people bought a ton of things all night long. From when they first came in, I see people looking, and I was like, "Hey, if there's anything you need, just let me know." And then they would say, "Oh, I want a box of this, I want a box of that," and then I would look at them and I would say, because I know how I am, I'm like, "Which box?" Some people were like, "Pick for me." Other ones were like, "Top, third down," and I was like, "I got you." But yeah, I mean, everybody got what they wanted. And the crazy thing is, the giveaways we did. This one guy, Joel Carpenter, shout out, awesome creator of food in Central and Upstate New York. And so Joel was there, and I saw him, and he won. We did the raffle, and he won a hobby box of baseball. He goes home with
Ooh.
2026 Series 1, and we get a picture from one of his friends, sent it to us. He went home, ripped it immediately. The box I handed him, Paul Skeen's autograph.
No way.
And the card's worth like over
Tell him
three.
I'm a
Yeah,
buyer.
it's worth over 3 grand right now. So,
I'm still a buyer.
so yeah.
I've got 3 grand right now.
And we had a kid that he won something from us. He came up to us and he got a card that was 24 out of 25. It was from Tops. It was the lowest number card we had, so we showed that one on the screen. We did the pack battle, and if with the pack battles with Cayenne Anthony, if you pulled a Carmelo Anthony, his father, if you pulled any of his cards, then that person, whether it was Cayenne or the person going against him, they won another not one, two blaster boxes of Topps Chrome. And the girl Mackenzie, she pulled a Carmelo in the second pack battle with Cayenne. And so that was wild. That happened live on screen. Then another person pulled a refractor of Carmelo. And so, I mean, the whole night was so awesome. Jackson, Chase, Mackenzie, the three people that won the raffle to do the pack battles with Cayenne. That was so much fun. And my guy Noah, he pulled an awesome card out of there as well. So I want to shout out Noah. I mean, everybody that came up, everybody had a fun time. My godson was watching. He sent me a message during the show, and because he couldn't make it, he had a triple header for his. He's a great soccer player, and I'm not saying that because I'm his uncle and godfather. He is. He sent me a message, and he put, "Watching, love you." And so he almost made me cry in the middle of the event. But yeah, I mean, dude, it was. I mean, the adults had a great time. The kids had a great time. I saw a lot of people that I know, and so they came up, shook my hand, said what's up. John Newman did a great job with Sports Card Nation podcast and SGC, and he was giving away free SGC submissions, which I would have gladly taken. And I mean, the giveaways were just beyond, and they were giving away the Zion cases from Tops, and
Yep.
those are really, really nice cases, which I need to get, and I'm probably going to buy one if they still have one there. But I mean, we were
You probably
selling.
need a bigger one, right?
But we were selling so many things that night. People had a wonderful time, and Josh and I just, I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep. And I was so amped up, and so was he. And we've been texting even yesterday. I was like, dude, I'm still like excited. He's like, hey, we're still both riding this thing. Anthony sent me a wonderful message as well, and yeah, this is a pinnacle moment for GG Cards and Breaks, and I can't wait to see what this is going to do for them locally, regionally, nationally. Hopefully internationally someday, but I think nationally they made a fantastic impression on Tops, and rightly so, because they not only put this event together and thought of everything they needed to think of and were over prepared, but they did this event with Tops notifying them with less than a week to do it. This was not months in advance. They had less than 7 days, and what they did in less than 7 days is just absolutely, I mean, it's immeasurable how many people were affected in a positive way. And the messages I received after, during, I can't wait. And it's been so busy in the store. It was busy before the event was going on, of people coming into the store. I mean, this is a game changer for everything that GG Cards and Breaks has worked toward. And there's there's no people that have earned it more than Josh, Anthony, and their team.
Oh, for sure. Having gotten to know them and seeing everything that they've gotten to do over the years, and really since you started with them, seeing what they did. Just from what I remember, how much were they really doing with trade nights and stuff like that before you started doing the partnership with them?
Yeah, I mean, they were doing some things, and they were doing it in the store, but I helped to. Josh came to me and he was talking to me like, "Hey, a restaurant approached me about doing trade nights," and I said, "I got a place." I said, "No offense to anybody." I was like, "I got a place. Let me make a call." I said, "Danny at the Wildcat." I said, "He collects cards. We've worked together for a long time. This would be a great fit." I connected Josh with Danny, and Danny was like, "Yeah, like we'll do it." And they gave it a shot. Then they gave it another shot. Now it's on a schedule of like every other month, and so that blew up like crazy. And yeah,
It was packed when we were there
yeah.
in January.
Oh, and the thing is people bring great stuff. I mean, my goodness, some of the best cards that I have bought have come from trade night. I've traded have come from trade night. I've kept have come from trade night. I've gone and flipped and sent somewhere else have come from trade night.
And gotten a card back that you really didn't want to sell.
And got my baby
significantly
back.
less than what you paid for it.
Yeah, got my JJ back.
And than what you sold it for.
Nah. Yeah, I sold my JJ, bought it back, and still made $105. So
like, even if that card plummets and is worth $5 in 2 years,
it still made money.
You still made money on it.
Made a lot of money off of it.
You made less than you could have, but you still made money on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I look at it like what I sold it for was good, and then what I bought it back for, and it's my card. It's not even like I had to go find another one, and I think that's the coolest part of it. And not even, and again, you never know who's watching, who's paying attention. Josh told me, he was like, I walked by and I didn't want to interrupt. He said, I saw what was happening. I knew exactly what that was. I knew what that card was, and I walked away like, let's go. Like, I can't believe he's getting it back. But, I mean, preparing for the event for Topps Rip Night with Josh, the powwows, he came over to my house, and, I made him tacos. We were up until past 2 in the morning, just writing everything down, talking, texting. I'm very grateful that he allowed me to be a part of stuff. We were running through things together, running through, what was Cayenne going to do? What's the schedule going to look like? What's my plan? And it all went off great. And like I said, I'm happy to be a part of it. And those jam sessions mean the world. And then when you see somebody go out and absolutely kill the thing and do an amazing job, you go back to those jam sessions and you're like, everybody got to see the finished product, but I got to, practice the chords with Josh, essentially. And that was my favorite part. That, those, and I think anybody would tell you that, whether it's making a movie or assembling a team or doing an event, whatever it may be, it's those moments where there's just a few people in the room and nobody's watching. Those are the moments that make what you create. And everyone sees the finished product, but they don't see the powwows. And I live for the powwows. I live for those conversations about what we're planning to do before it happens. And I mean, I'm an idea man. I'm a writer. I'm a creator. And I am so grateful. I'm fighting back tears, and I think Josh understands that. I am so grateful that he wanted to sit with me and plan this thing out, because my favorite part of this entire event was the stuff that nobody saw. It was him and I being kids, riffing off each other, coming up with ideas, and then seeing them happen was just, it's the essence of every great thing that has ever happened in life comes from a bunch of things that nobody sees. And it's those meetings, it's those conversations, it's those late nights that make everything truly come together. And I was exhausted. I didn't feel 100%, but I wouldn't have changed anything about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd say that much.
Oh, for sure. And, with how well it went, I'm sure they're going to be looking forward to when Topps does it again, because it seems as though it's a, like an every other year thing, or an every other, or like a twice a year type thing that they'll do. Maybe like one in the winter, one in like, August, September, sometime like that. But it's fun. Yeah. And then everybody got to wake up at 8 o'clock the next morning and watch that amazing hockey game between the U.S. and Canada. And quite frankly, and we're about to get into it, but quite frankly, we had no business winning that hockey game. We had zero business winning that hockey game. If Hellebuck is not in net, we probably lose 4-1, something like that.
Yeah.
But and I'll give us a minute to get more into it. But that's just kind of like the initial takeaways from that game, as it was nuts.
Yeah, no, I mean the games were fantastic, ironic, and Team USA, beautiful thing when you hear Americans sing the national anthem together. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. Wake Up Call is live from Florida, our second home, and our second hub of Wake Up Call, as well as Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. We will be back momentarily. Stay with us, as Team USA has not one, but 2 gold medals in ice hockey. Both teams, men and women, same opponent, both in overtime. I feel like they should make a movie about this one. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge, and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item, available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And now a message from Myers Creek Brewing Company, with locations at their Cazenovia Farm Brewery, Syracuse Inner Harbor Tap Room, and soon-to-be Lake Placid Tap Room.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Feldmeyer family and our team are extremely passionate about what we do. We care very much about what we do. The Feldmeyer family is always investing. Our taproom management team, our brew management team, our marketing management team, and all of the team members that get after it every day, they leave it on the field. They put their heart and soul into it. I know for a fact that everyone that works at Myers Creek wants to be there, and we want them to be there. We want them to feel good about their job. And again, if you've never been to Myers Creek, especially to the brewery, I want your eyes to open really big. I want you to see how big of a brand this is. I want you to see where we're going. The sky is the limit, and I feel very proud of that, and I'm very excited about that. When you think of designing a menu for a brewery, it's kind of open to a lot of different interpretations. You can do American, you can do Asian, you can do Italian, and you just have to find, how that meets that pub style dining experience, that gastropub vibe. And I think it's super fun for us because obviously we know that, everyone in the world's gonna sell a pizza or a burger or a french fry, but what can we do to be different? And what can we do to be true to who we are? We are a brewery, a brew pub. So the flavor profiles are kind of all over the place. And I think it's super cool that we have a massive smoker at the brewery in Cazenovia, and we smoke a lot of our products. A delicious smoked turkey. We have barbecue ribs on Sundays. From a pulled pork sandwich to a chicken wing, you go to the Inner Harbor and you go to the Caz location and you'll find similarities in the menu, but also things that are a little different and also kind of fit those different demographics or different communities, and also hopefully just drive you to try every tap room that we have open at some point, because you get a little something different at each one. We understand how hard it is to, work every day and get after it every day, and when you're done at the end of your day, you want to go out and put your feet up in a good ambiance and good environment. So we take pride in that. We make sure that everyone knows that they're very much valued to us.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City with us in our travel studios down in the great state of Florida. That Wake Up Call broadcasts from Florida every single year by the grace of God. and we are pulling at least triple duty down here, as Superpowered Pop was putting out stuff yesterday, and I'll continue to put out content on Facebook, X, and Instagram at Superpowered Pop from my experience with Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, and the Epic Universe. And today, I'll be at Disney, so Do Diz with Dan will be rocking on social media, on Facebook and Instagram at Do Diz with Dan, on top of the fact that we're broadcasting live Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. So, a lot of great stuff coming up here from Florida and having fun while we're out here living life to the best of our ability. Murph and I are here to talk with you about Team USA and what they accomplished. I'm going to go to the women first. Hillary Knight's last Olympics came up clutch in this game. And then, of course, Megan Keller, the golden goal in 3-on-3 overtime that happened this past Thursday, as the women's team won gold by beating Canada 2-1. So, once again, the women and the men both are in the gold medal round. Both face Canada. Both win in overtime. Both 2-1. Wild. So, we go back and take a look at this. The U.S. had allowed only one goal all tournament before Canada fourth liner Kristen O'Neill scored short-handed early in the second period of the finale on Thursday. This is the final Olympic game for the 36-year-old Knight, as I mentioned, who, with her second gold medal, became the most decorated player in U.S. women's hockey history. She announced in May that these games, being her fifth Olympics, would be her last. She said, quote, "I've had a heck of a career personally. It's been an incredible ride. I have to soak this all in because this room is just so special. This team is just so special. This is the best U.S. hockey team I've ever been a part of. That is just so tremendous," end quote. Now, Knight's third period tally moved her into sole possession atop the U.S. record book, men's or women's, for goals with 15, points 33 in an Olympic career. She had a memorable tournament in Italy proposing to her partner, and then that was 2 days before the gold medal match. Now, she is known as one of the nicknames out there, Captain America, which you know I'm a Marvel fan. Hillary Knight set the career record for goals and points in the Olympics for a Team USA hockey player, men or women, with her score in the gold medal game against Canada. So, games 29, she ranks first in women's hockey. Points 33, she is first in men or women. Goals 15, she is first for men or women. And 5 medals, she is first. So, just amazing to see what Hillary Knight has done. Now, looking at the U.S. roster, featured veterans and breakout young players, and the 2026 games represented a passing of the torch. Wisconsin seniors Caroline Harvey and Edwards, who had a combined 18 points, were the top U.S. skaters in terms of ice time, are among the U.S. team members who have photos from their childhood posing with Knight, which is crazy here. United States gave up only 2 goals in the tournament, tying the 2006 and 2010 Canada teams, more irony, for the fewest allowed in a single Olympics by a women's team. U.S. goalie Aaron Frankel made 30 saves on Thursday, but didn't get the offensive support as Team USA continually missed opportunities in regulation until we saw Knight capitalize. So, again, massive moment for U.S. women's hockey, the national team, getting their gold medal and getting this victory on Thursday. It's kind of sad that it ends early for them, where the men were on Sunday, the women were on Thursday. But it really, to me, it gave 2 fantastic moments, but you almost wish they could culminate together. So, Murph, I'd love to get your thoughts on the U.S. national team. We'll start with the women here, on everything that they did. Megan Keller getting her goal, obviously what Frankel did in the goal, as well as the fact that Hillary Knight is finishing off a fantastic career where she is atop both men and women in Team USA history.
All I can say about the golden goal, what a sick move by Megan Keller to get around the defender, and bury that puck. That photo of her celebrating after she buried the puck was all over social media for the next 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Just blasting Freebird in the background. I saw that, so I didn't get to watch it. I was fitting somebody at the time at the PGA Superstore in East Hanover, so I wasn't watching the game. But other people in the store were, and when, she scored the golden goal, obviously I heard about it, so I didn't watch the replay until later. And when I saw the move, I was like, that was just disgusting. Like, that's a move you make in the video game, not in real life. And she got around her and got around the defender. And keep in mind, folks, this is a defenseman that made that play. She's not a scorer. She's not a forward. She's not a winger. She's a defenseman. And she put one of the most disgusting moves on that defender for Canada and then gets around and scores. And the photo that was going around was honestly, it was sick. So, huge credit to her. Hillary Knight, obviously one of the most decorated U.S. women's Olympians of all time.
Yeah.
Winning another medal, and she's going to be, I think you said, the all-time points leader for U.S. women's hockey in the Olympics. So, huge shout out to her, and great for her for getting engaged as well. And you know what was really nice about that team? You didn't hear any of them talking about politics.
Yeah.
Hey, U.S. women's soccer team, maybe take notes. Nobody gives a crap about your politics at the Olympics. We care about you going out there, doing a job, winning a gold medal, and we will celebrate you. If you start to talk about politics, we don't care. We're going to ignore it. So we don't want to hear it. So great on them for not, talking about that at all. And, obviously they got to sit around and see what the men's team did a couple nights later. And, you heard a couple of the men's players talking after before the gold medal game about, how proud they were of the women's team. And, maybe they didn't get to spend as much time with them as they would have liked, but
Yeah.
They got to, cheer them on and watch the games, and as it all turned out, they got to, make it 2 when they beat the Canadians 3 mornings later, actually, I should say.
Well, and there's a lot there. And Layla Edwards, I want to make sure, because I mentioned Caroline Harvey and I mentioned Edwards, so shout out to Layla Edwards as well. I want to go into the men's game. Quinn and Jack Hughes both saying, Quinn saying, "I love the U.S. I'm proud to represent." Jack saying, "I love the U.S. I'm proud to be American." Just good to see that. Proud Jewish Americans. Ross sent that to me, as Ross is also a very proud Jewish American. So shout out to Ross Turetsky, one of the greatest, in my opinion, sports broadcast and sports writing extraordinaires, and his incredible work, his encyclopedia brain, his attention to detail, care for people, and just content that he puts out is fantastic. So Ross, I want to give you a shout out that is well earned from a million years ago, but you continue to impress me. The father you are, the husband you are, and the work that you do. You're a coach, you're a broadcaster, you're a writer, and I'm just blown away at the fact that he's chased all of his dreams and caught them. I'm not surprised that he did, but I'm blown away by the human being and the example that he sets. And he's one of those friends that never makes an excuse. Oh, I'm too busy, I'm too this. Never come out of Ross's mouth. I think he sends me at least one message a day just letting me know he was thinking of me. So I love you, buddy. I want to get to the men's game here now. Jack Hughes, it says Jack Hughes may have lost some teeth along the way, but his hockey smile is even bigger with a gold medal. For the first time since the 1980 Miracle on Ice, the United States won an Olympic gold medal in men's hockey as Hughes scored the golden goal in 3-on-3 overtime 2-1, same score as the women had against Canada. This game happened early Sunday morning. So, and you mentioned Connor Hellebuck, the U.S. goalie, who stopped 41 shots to keep the game tied heading into overtime. Hughes' goal, which was less than 2 minutes into the extra period, was assisted by Zach Werenski, who wrestled the puck away from Canada's Nathan.
And Connor Hellebuck. Give him some credit. He got a point. He got an assist on that goal.
Yeah, so, they're giving the assist to Werenski here, but Nathan McKinnon, who they took it from, and sent a cross-ice feed to an open Hughes, Jack's. And so Jack's brother, U.S. defenseman Quinn Hughes, who I just mentioned, he said, quote, about his brother, he's a freaking gamer. He's always been a gamer. Just mentally tough, been through a lot, loves the game, American hero, end quote. Jack had at least one front tooth chipped in the third period when he took a high-sticking penalty from Sam Bennett, which resulted in a 4-minute power play for the United States. He said, quote, my first thought was, draw the penalty. Actually, my first thought, I looked on the ice and saw my teeth. So, end quote. Matt Boldy said, quote, more people are going to be looking at his medal than his teeth, end quote. American players talked a big... True. Yeah. So, American players talked a big game. Hughes said, your whole life you're always going up against things. There's always new adversities, new challenges. Every single player in that game went through so many things. It's a journey, the whole lifetime of work. I'm just part of that. I think every single person in that game can be proud. Obviously, a great game, and we had the better outcome, but just a great game between USA and Canada, end quote. So defenseman Charlie McAvoy said, quote, I can't wait to see the footage of what happened after we scored because it was a complete blackout. Who I was hugging, where I was going, I don't know what happened. It was just euphoria. I can't even explain what I was feeling. Just pure joy. I want to stop on that because I got chills reading what McAvoy and Hughes had to say. Your thoughts, Murph?
Well, I'm going to take it back to Connor Hellebuck for a minute. During the Denmark game, he did not start that game. I sat in that Buffalo Wild Wings in, I don't even remember where I was, somewhere in Parsippany, New Jersey. And I'm watching this game and I'm seeing us, Denmark's got 2 goals on like 9 shots. I'm like, who the heck is our goalie? And it turns out the backup was playing. I didn't know Hellebuck didn't play that game. Yeah. So I thought it was Hellebuck. And I'm like, this guy's terrible. And when I later found out that it wasn't Hellebuck that was playing in that game, I was like, oh, okay. And then you watch him play against Sweden, against, I think, who'd we beat to get to was it Slovakia in the semifinal? And then you watch him play what I would argue is the single greatest performance by a goaltender in the history of hockey. 41 saves on 42 shots. We got outshot, and I want to make sure I get this number correct because it was significant. Hang on. Here we go. We got outshot. Oh, come on. So they had 42 shots to 28. We got outshot 42 to 28.
I was going to say it was. I thought at one point I had heard it was almost double. That it was like
yeah.
So
watching that game because the fitting event I was doing started at 10. They had the place I was at. They had the game on every single TV, and the volume was up. 10 o'clock was basically like the start of it was like the middle of the third period. So obviously I'm not really watching at this point. I'm focusing on doing the fitting. Now, the guy I was fitting was quite interested in what was happening in the game as well. So every once in a while he'd take a peek over after hitting a shot. I couldn't help but, take a peek, but we're focusing on what we're doing. We get to overtime and he kind of looks at me and says, and we were basically done with the fitting at this point. And he kind of looks at me. He's like, let's watch overtime. Because I didn't have anybody immediately after him. So I kind of said to him, like, it's up to you. I mean, you're and it was his idea. So I'm not going to argue, I'm not going to, if he wants to watch overtime, I'm not going to say no. And then obviously Hughes gets the puck, we score the golden goal, and the whole place went nuts.
Yeah.
And then it was right back to business. Yeah, it was just watching that game, because I got to watch probably 3/4 of it. Because I think Hughes got hit in the face right around the time we started the fitting. So I didn't see the play. I knew we were on the power play. I didn't see what happened with that at all.
Yeah.
But you had, Canada controlled that game from start to finish. The entire, pretty much all of regulation outside of when we were on the power play, Canada had the ball in the offensive zone. We were playing defense all night, all day long. And I'm watching this game, and I'm thinking, like, if this game goes to overtime, we got no shot. Because Canada utterly dominated that game. So that goal we scored in the first period to take the lead, again, sick move to get through 2 defenders and score. Canada ties it in the second period. And I'm thinking at that point, what's going to happen here? What are we doing? We're stuck playing defense this whole game. Something's got to give. Hellbuck can't have 50 saves and allow 1 goal. You're going to kill the guy. And sure enough, he did it. And, they get to overtime. And it was maybe 2 or 3 minutes into overtime that they scored the game winner. They scored the golden goal with Jack Hughes. And, obviously everywhere across the United States that was watching that game, bars were opening early. Basically governors were giving permission for bars to open way early to watch games. I know Kathy Hochul in New York basically said the bars are allowed to start serving alcohol at 6 a.m.
Wait.
Or maybe it was 7 a.m. for the games.
She made a good decision.
She did make a good decision. Pretty much every governor in the U.S. started allowing that, and so you had bars that were open with jam-packed with people watching the game. These are golfers that are watching this, and I kid you not, overtime happens every single. There's not a soul in the place that's hitting a golf club. They got 8 bays.
Yeah.
Every set of eyes in that place was on the television. Was on one of those televisions watching this game. So, like I said, guy I was fitting wants to watch the game and watch overtime. I'm not going to say no, because I wanted to watch it too. But if he I'm not going to stop the fitting, and, unless he wants to stop the fitting. So we were doing this thing, and we were basically done by the time we got to overtime anyway. But it was crazy. It was the whole place erupted. Maybe 30 people in there, but like I said, not a soul was hitting a golf ball. Yeah. Everybody was watching the game, and the place goes nuts when Jack Hughes scores the game winner, and about 30 seconds later, everybody was right back to, playing their sim rounds and everything. And, it was fun, but, realistically, we had zero business winning that game. Connor Hellebuck had an otherworldly performance in goal. And I think I saw an image of in the third period. I don't remember who it was for Canada. I think it might have been Taves that had an open net, and Hellebuck still made the save. And I saw a picture of Johnny Gaudreau that might have come down from heaven to make the save and help Hellebuck there. And that was something that I thought was really cool that the team did. They took
his jersey.
Even last year, they had a jersey for Johnny Gaudreau hanging in the locker room during the Four Nations face-off and every single game in the Olympics. Johnny Gaudreau would have been on this team. They brought his kids onto the ice.
So Murphy,
I thought
Do you see who's holding the jersey? I told you that my number and my grandfather's number show up together. My number 21, his number 13. The picture that was taken, who's holding number 13?
Yeah.
Number 21. So, I know Grandpa was there too.
I know. That is bizarre. I was gonna say I thought that was Dylan Larkin that wears 21 there. So that was and Johnny Gaudreau having would have been on this team.
Yeah.
He's a guy that every single person on the US team had love and respect for. So he was with them. He 100% was, and they did it for him, because he would have been getting a gold medal had he been there. So watching that game, like I said, I watched all of the first two periods, about half of the third period before the fitting got underway, and it was the bay we were going to be using was booked till 10 o'clock, so we couldn't even start the fitting early if we wanted to, because the gentleman I was fitting was there early.
Yeah.
We were both watching the game, for until the bay opened, and then we hopped in the bay and we got him dialed in with his clubs, and but yeah, it was Jack Hughes talked about it. He took a high stick to the face, got a couple of chipped teeth that are sitting on the ice, and he kind of goes, yeah, not this again, and ends up scoring the game winner.
Yeah.
Seeing a guy like Jack Hughes score a goal like that, knowing he plays for my favorite team and he's the best player on my favorite team, it was pretty cool to see. It was kind of like watching David Wright in the WBC in 2013 when he was getting called Captain America. Jack Hughes might as well be Captain America right now, because realistically, Connor McDavid was if he doesn't score that, and I don't remember who the Canadians or who Canada's goalie was, but if he makes that save and then they go the other way, Bennington it was for Canada, they got a 2-on-1 the other way.
Yeah.
And you got the best player in the world in Connor McDavid that could very well go and score the golden goal like he did in the Four Nations face-off last year. And the craziest part about this is that I believe Matthew Tkachuk is the one that's on the Panthers. Forgive me if it's Brady, but I think it's Matthew. Is on the Panthers, played the Oilers in the Stanley Cup Finals the last 2 years, won both times, and now just beat Connor McDavid for the gold medal. So that's got to be pretty rough if you're Connor McDavid right now. But obviously he's the best player in the world at the moment, and Canada did do something that they haven't done since 1993, is win something silver, because Canada hasn't won a Stanley Cup since the 90s.
Yeah,
and also, folks, for anybody from Canada that is, especially that certain guy on TikTok, you know who you are, that was going on complaining about how 3-on-3 is stupid, and I don't disagree with that you're playing a 3-on-3 period in overtime, but he's like, Canada should have won this game, they controlled it from start to finish. Well, yeah, they did, but who scored 2 goals and who scored 1? I'm pretty sure that is how you score a hockey game. Yeah. The team that scores the most goals wins.
It's like football.
So if you don't score, you can't win the hockey game.
Right. It's like football. It's like time of possession. Doesn't matter if you don't do anything with it. So, yeah, you controlled the game, but you didn't finish the game. And the United States...
We had the greatest goaltender in the world on the ice.
Well, and, and Hellebuck said this, quote, "Those critics, they can keep writing, but they don't understand goaltending. They don't understand my game. I know what I'm putting forward. I know what I'm building. Those are the moments that prove it. Not that I need to. Awesome words from Hellebuck. Sidney Crosby on the other side, too, for Team Canada, who I have a lot of respect for. A lot of respect for, obviously both of these squads, but Americans get the victory in both men's and women's hockey, both 2-1, both overtime, both against Team Canada, and both letting people know that Team USA has got some good players, because we know that Canada is known for hockey. But awesome, and, just seeing how they honor their teammate up in heaven, that was one of my favorite moments. That's why I shared it. And I was on a plane. Coming down to Florida. I turned the game on. So Gaudreau up in heaven, God bless you. And, Grandpa, give him a hug from me. He likes number 13, so I know you already like him. I was sitting on the plane, waiting to take off from Syracuse to de-ice and all that. Turned the live TV on JetBlue, was watching the game, and then the TV stopped working. You could only watch movies, couldn't watch TV until we got up in the air. And then I turned it back, and so then you're able to do it. The first thing I heard were the women across from me screaming, cheering, clapping, because we were however many thousand feet in the air when Team USA won on Sunday morning.
I saw so many videos of that.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
the
we were on a
reactions
plane.
from people.
We were on a plane.
It didn't matter where they were. You could be on a plane. You could be at a bar. You could be, at an indoor golf center where not a single person is hitting a golf club. Everybody's eyes are on the television. You could be anywhere. And the reaction was the same. That we were screaming our heads off because for the first time since the Miracle on Ice team in 1980, we won the gold medal. Yeah. So, we heard Micah Ruzioni talk about this all Olympics long, telling Team USA, this is your time. We've had this for almost 50 years. It's your turn. So now Jack Hughes gets to be that guy for the next however long. Hopefully, it's only 4 years, and then they win again. But who knows? I mean, you kind of knew going into this Olympics, especially without Russia, that it was probably going to be the U.S. and Canada, and the writing was on the wall that it was going to be the U.S. and Canada. We kind of knew that Canada was beatable after watching their 2 games in the quarters and the semis. Yeah. We knew they were beatable. They shoot a lot. So if you have a good goalie, which we did, and we do, you could beat them. Because they were, and I'll tell you one thing, there's something to be said about being a selfish player when it comes to playing on a team full of superstars. And there's also something to be said when you're too unselfish.
Yeah.
That team was way too unselfish. And so were we to an extent. We missed opportunities right in front of the net where we're making an extra pass where all you got to do is shoot the puck and you're scoring. And this game never even makes it to overtime. So I'm sitting there watching and you're like in the middle of the second period, I think it was Austin Matthews that had the puck right in front of the net. And Billington was on the other side. He hadn't gotten over there yet. Austin Matthews, you're the captain of the team. Shoot the damn puck. Nobody would complain if you take a shot. Right? Like, you talk about, Team USA basketball. So many superstars that are, quote unquote ball hogs that, may not pass the ball in the Olympics. These guys are doing the opposite of that to a point where it almost cost them the game. And I think we also forgot to mention the 5-on-3 that they killed off in the third period.
Well, that was something I was looking
at.
A
minute and a half where you were down 2 guys.
Well, they were
and you killed off both penalties.
18 and 18 in this. They were perfect 18 for 18 when it comes to kills here. Killed off a 93-second 5-on-3 power play midway through the second period.
And, the second period, that's right.
And went 18 for 18 on the penalty kill in the tournament.
That's unbelievable. Like when you're trying to kill off a penalty, you're basically just trying. You're all you're doing is play defense. You're not trying to score. So you get the puck, you're flipping it out of the defensive zone and just trying to let them, regroup, get new guys on the ice. Usually teams are like, they can kill off about half of their penalties. They killed off every single penalty in these Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
You know how unbelievable that is?
Strongest offense is a good defense.
It's like you're playing for an NFL championship and you allow 0 points.
Yeah.
It's never happened, but it almost did this year. New England scored garbage time points.
Yeah.
It almost happened. It really did. And I would have been thrilled if it did.
It's happened in the CFP.
Yeah, it has. So, I look at this and I think, man, this team played unbelievable killing off power plays.
Yeah.
They did well when they were on the power play as well, but they killed off every single penalty they had against them.
18 for 18.
That is unbelievable.
Men's national team gets their victory Sunday morning, and of course had to do it in the morning because you can't have it at the same time as the closing ceremony. So shout out to Team USA.
I later learned that was the reason why they were playing at 8 a.m. because my thought was, why on earth, like, Team USA has been playing at 3:30 or 3 o'clock Eastern, which is about 9 p.m. local time.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, why can't you just play the game at 1, where it's 7 p.m. local time and more Americans can watch it? Oh. But hindsight, it made sense because the closing ceremonies were that night.
Yeah. So, shout out to Milan, shout out to Italy. Got to be there before the Olympic Games came in, and definitely got to have kind of an Olympic feel, though, because there was a bunch of world leaders, including President Trump from the United States, that converged on Italy. While my dad and I were there, when the Pope passed away, they came to pay their respects. So it was an Olympic-esque feeling in the sense of all of these leaders from the world coming to one place. So definitely appreciate Italy, the work that you do, and the protection then, the protection now, and of course a homeland for my ancestors that I just got to finally go to for the first time in my life. So shout out to Norway, by the way, too. Most medals in this Olympics for 2026.
Yeah.
Second most goes to the United States of America. And of course, ice hockey has not one but 2 world champions. With that being said, Murph, I appreciate you as always. Happy we got to adjust to Tuesday as Wake Up Call broadcast live from Florida. We have our Bearcat Breakroom coming up in just a moment. So, Murph, thank you. Appreciate you, and I look forward to talking with you next week.
Of course, my friend. I'm glad we were able to hop on and talk a little hockey. How often do we do that on the show?
Well, and the thing is I was like, I know if I text Murph and ask him to talk about Team USA, he'll make it work. So,
absolutely.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
That coming from Brendan Murphy, the other half of DT and Murphy on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. We got to jump right into our next Zoom call here with Jerry Cummiskey, and it's perfect timing that Jerry's going to be on the show because we, of course, are talking Olympic sports, and he coaches an Olympic sport at Binghamton University, that being swimming and diving. So happy to have Jerry here on the show, and we look forward to bringing him in momentarily on the broadcast as we await his video. And in the meantime, want to thank you all for being with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Of course, inside these Great Lakes Honda City studios, Great Lakes Honda City, coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They're open for sales and service Monday through Saturday. And of course, you can visit them anytime online at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. With that being said, we have our next guest here on the broadcast ready to go. So we're going to bring him right into the show here. And as we always have for you, Grateful for our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton University, which gives us an opportunity to speak with student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni all throughout the year. Jerry Cummiskey has been no stranger to the broadcast, and the last time I saw him, we were at a pool at Nottingham High School, and I got to see that Bearcat bus there in my hometown of Syracuse, New York, and perfect timing for Jerry to be on the show as we talk about the Olympics and Olympic sports. He coaches an Olympic sport, Olympic sports with men's and women's swimming and diving as the leader of Binghamton University in that regard. Speaking on the 2025-26 regular season into the postseason and 2 successful programs with winning records this season. Jerry, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. I appreciate your patience. We kind of got very long-winded about Team USA, having the irony that not only did they win, but men's and women's ice hockey both went to the gold medal round, both played Team Canada, both won in overtime, both on a golden goal, both 2-1. How wild is that they literally paralleled each other all the way to the end?
Yeah, I mean, we had it on a little bit in the coaches' room at our meet, so it was cool to see the women's game at least. It's amazing that both those games came down really to the same situation, and both went our way, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, for you, Jerry, coaching an Olympic sports when it comes to swimming and diving, to me, this is a great moment because there's a spotlight on the sports that don't always get the recognition and the love that they deserve. And to me, I mean, this, I've talked to you about this. I've spent my career making sure that every sport has a voice. Every student athlete, doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter how much you played, what you've won, what you haven't won. I know everyone has a story to tell. And when the Olympics get the entire world to pay attention, it's a great time for Olympic sports to really say, hey, we're playing every year. We're competing all the time. So what does this do for you? And do you use this as a vehicle to say, while the Olympics are on, be it summer or winter, let's make sure that we remind people that our Olympic sports happening all the time?
Yeah, I guess it's a little tougher to, parallel the Winter Olympics for our sport specifically. But I know, every 4 years in the Summer Olympics, especially with USA swimming typically being very strong, the sport always sees an uptick and a lot more popularity than, throughout the rest of the 4 years. So, and I assume that's the same for a lot of those sports. And, we were talking at the meet while we were watching some of the, downhill skiing and some of those lesser known sports of just how do you get into that, and there's kids all over the place doing a lot of different sports, not just, basketball or football and soccer. So, yeah. It's great to see, and it's cool to see people kind of rally together, with, a lot of pride around the Olympic Games.
Yeah, and coaching an Olympic sport for you, just your thoughts on I mean, because I've been in rooms with total strangers where Team USA is on and it doesn't matter the sport. It doesn't matter if it's swimming and diving or if it's curling or if it's volleyball, basketball, of course, hockey that a lot of people are high on right now. When you're in a room full of strangers anywhere in America, when Team USA is on, everybody just stops. And I got to say that swimming and diving, growing up as a kid, that was one of the ones that was on in my house. People were paying attention to. And if they knew the names of Olympians, a lot of it had to do with swimming and diving. Why do you feel that is? That, not only do Americans pay attention to the Olympics and to Team USA, but it seems to be that swimming and diving has been the thing that people stay up for, the thing that people pay attention to. And I just remember being a kid, my parents had it on. We talked about it at school. Why swimming and diving?
I think it's one of those sports that, you even if you don't know a ton about, you can understand racing and finishing first. So it's easy to kind of comprehend that aspect to it. And I think we've had, a lot of world-class athletes who, broken records and been, the potential prime athlete at an Olympic game, not even just the sport, with Katie Ledecky or Michael Phelps and on and on. So, I think to have, household names like that in sports that aren't really well known, draws people in. I was watching one of those Instagram clips from a NFL team before practice, who's the top three athletes, of all time. And to hear pro football players throw, Michael Phelps out in that mix, I think is telling.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Like I said, I mean, that's one of the sports that I remember the most. I think it was like every time the Summer Olympics were on, that's what we watched in the house. We were always watching the swimming and diving world. And obviously with Emily Mackay and what she's done for Binghamton University and, the track and field world, to see her out there too is another thing to speak about. And I know that new president of Binghamton University, Ann DeOliva, she spoke about that as well. With the women's flag football team coming in, she mentioned Emily, and, it was great to hear that echo once again, because Emily is a young person in society that's already accomplished so much. Speaking of accomplishment, Jerry, I'm looking at the record here, and I'm looking at Binghamton men's swimming and diving. I'm seeing 7-0. I'm looking at the women's side, seeing the record of 5-3. I know there's a lot of different meets and different things going on, but you have winning programs on the men's side and the women's side that have really had themselves a wonderful 2025-26 season. So I'd love to get into just what you feel led to this moment and elevated both of these I should say all four of these squads, men's diving, men's swimming, women's diving, women's swimming, to see these winning records, to see the accomplishments, and to just know that your teams are doing a tremendous job. And I know you're going to give credit to your staff, and rightly so, but everyone that works on Binghamton men's and women's swimming and diving, I would imagine you're happy with what we've seen so far.
Absolutely. I think at the end of the season, you always look back and look at things maybe you could have done differently, or you hoped maybe went a little better. But on a whole, I think it really just comes down to we've got a great group of kids. Our sports aren't always a lot of fun. We beat them up pretty good. We just train all the time. There's no games. So, they've got to be pretty mentally tough as well as physically. So, they've been a fun group to work with. They push each other. They're definitely bought into what we're doing. And, I think the results show for themselves.
On the men's side of things, when you look at swimming and diving this season for the men, I know that when it comes to the regular season itself and then going into the America East championships, your time to reflect on men's swimming and diving, to start there, what are your main takeaways from this season after we saw the America East Championships wrap up on February 21st?
I think since our championship meet last year when, our men won, right away the goal is, to do it again. And I think that was our focal point all season, and something that we went into, this past weekend with, the goal of achieving. And, kind of like the, NCAA basketball tournament, what you've done before you get there means nothing once you do. So right. We had a great season and a lot of highlights, but it all means nothing once that meet starts, and it's, which team's the best over those 4 days. So, I think our men did a great job of competing all weekend, and, just fell a little bit short. And, whether that's, a couple injuries or a couple things we, could have done better, or recruiting a little better, we'll look at that and see what we got to do to get back on top. But, couldn't be more proud of them for, just how they fought all weekend, and never gave up. And we're committed to doing what it took to see if we could be on top at the end, and fell a little short of that, but, definitely proud of that group.
Like you said, the men's team won last year in the America East. When you reflect on this time around, and I know you said, there's things you look at, things you'll assess to get better. Are there any things that you look to this past weekend in the America East Championships and say, those are things I'm going to build on as a coach, these are things we have to look at? On the men's side specifically, what highlights give you hope as you go to 26-27?
I think we have a really young, talented group. We've got a good group of seniors that we're losing, but not a very large group. So we've got a lot of talent coming back, and we've got a couple areas we need to improve on, compared to UMBC in the conference. And, we'll look to do that. And, the tough part is, for the most part, who we have coming in next year is already settled. So there's not a ton you can do in terms of switching people up. And, we'll just have to, really work on improving, in some areas with some guys.
And then looking to the women's side of things, wrapping up this season, also over the weekend, the America East Championships. What have you seen from your women in the swimming and diving worlds? Takeaways, positives to build upon after you reflect on this 2025-26 campaign?
I think we've got a group now that wants to work and do what, it takes to be good. We're pretty young there. Next year, I think we've got 11 seniors out of our 30. So we'll be a upperclassman driven group, and hopefully have some really good leadership. But, we've got a lot of talent at the top and need to get a little bit deeper and, really figure out how to perform when it counts and be there at the championship meet. So, a smart, fun group of girls to work with. They push each other. They're supportive. They get it done outside of the pool for sure. So, just look to kind of build on the success we had this season and definitely headed in the right direction. And, just a lot of very good teams in our conference that, as we've drastically improved and set school records and top 10 times, so has the conference. So it's just, been a game of catch up and, that's been the biggest challenge there.
And it seems like, obviously, being self-reflective, you wanted more this season. Can hear it in your voice and in what you're saying. How do you navigate these moments now where you accept what's happened, your recruiting class is coming in, like you said, in the not too distant future, what to build upon in the future. How do you navigate through this? Because we teach student athletes, win or lose, you got to celebrate it or get through the adversity and then you got to let it go. What's kind of your way of handling things? If something doesn't go the way you hoped or the way that you had planned, what's the Jerry Cummiskey kind of ingredient to success, so to speak, to feel it, know it, go through the adversity, move forward? How do you navigate? Because I feel like we talk so much about how does the athlete do it, but how do you do it as a coach?
Yeah, I think it's taking some time to reflect and look at, what went well all season and, take a step back and what didn't or what we can do better. And, I think it's tough because a lot of times you just want to base everything off of what happened these 4 days. But we've been training since August and, we start back up with spring workouts in a couple weeks. So, really our work for next season starts, beginning of March. So just find the things in the areas that we need to collectively improve on, whether that's, our athletes, or our staff, and then work with them individually. We'll meet with everybody and go over things, we think they can do better or what they need more of or where we bridge that gap to get them to, where we think they can be and where they think they can be. And, I think for some of them that's confidence, some of them that's work ethic, or commitment, or really kind of understanding and growing up as an athlete of, things are different. You're not a 15-year-old kid where you can train every day and nothing hurts and you're not beat up. So getting them to understand some of that, the recovery aspect of sport and taking care of their body and fueling properly. So, we'll look at all of that and see what we need to do a little differently, where we need to guide them a little better, and then go from there. I'll ask, our staff what they think we need, get some different viewpoints, get our strength and conditioning coach involved and, really go from there. I think on the surface, what we've done the past 7 years it has worked, and our kids have gotten better, and our team has improved. So, just trying to continue to build upon what we do. I think every year we make some adjustments and change what we do in some ways. So, we just work to raise the bar a little bit each year.
Yeah, and in raising the bar, you talked about when it comes to strength and conditioning. I had Lori Gleason on the show just a little bit ago, who was elevated to the head sports performance coach. How do you use Lori as a resource, and what can you do moving forward as you get set to prepare for next season next month?
Well, I hope we get lucky enough to keep Lori as our strength coach now that she's in the big seat. I think for me personally, having Lori with our program has been, one of the best parts of this job. She's been with our program for like 19 years. So understanding what swimmers need, kind of the peaks and flows of our season, when we try to, be at our best, when we back off a little bit, when we rest. So having someone that has been through it, understands it, is an advocate for our kids and a resource for them, outside of just the weight room and with nutrition and everything, and someone that's genuinely bought into our program. I know other schools in the swimming and diving world, you get the intern or the new person every year, and it's a new program year to year, and that can be frustrating. So, I think our kids have gotten stronger. They're fit, and that's, the prime focus for her, and she does a great job with that.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate those kind words for Lori, and very happy for her. Got to have an awesome time talking with her about her evolution and her story, her journey to be where she is today. And you could check that out as well as all of our specials with Binghamton by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and click on that Binghamton playlist after you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Before we jump into a little bit of rapid fire, Jerry, the NCAA is coming up in March. How does that kind of work individually, and are you sending anybody from Binghamton just to share with people? Because, after they see the conference tournament, and in your case, the America East Championships, after we see that, I don't know if the average fan understands like what the NCAAs are beyond that. So I'd love for you to kind of share that a little bit.
So that's changed this year. I know last year getting back after we won, a couple people asked, the NCAAs, does the team go? So there's no team qualification for winning. In the past, it's just been, time-based. There's an automatic cut, there's a bonus cut, and about 30 to 32 athletes get invited in each event, and they fill their field. So this was the first year that they changed that qualification standard a little bit with an automatic qualifier from conferences. So if you win your event at the conference championship and hit the qualifying time, you would automatically be invited. So I believe only one athlete in our conference actually won and hit the time, a girl in the 50 freestyle from UMBC. So she'll go. We had a few kids that were close and gunning for it, and won events, but fell a little short of that cut time. So, we don't have anyone going to NCAAs for swimming. We do have 4 divers who have qualified for NCAA regionals, which is score based, and there's 5 or 6 different regions where they'll have a meet at Navy in a couple weeks. So they'll go down and compete there, and the top few from each region move on to NCAAs.
Yeah, and so obviously hopes for your divers, and in this new template that things continue to move forward for Binghamton. Let's play some rapid fire, Jerry. We're going to ask each other a few questions. Any topic, anything we want. You get to be first. What do you got for me?
Which was your favorite kind of obscure sport to watch at the Winter Olympics?
Well, I will say this. Whatever tubing thing that they were doing with everybody attached to it was wild to me. But I would say that I need to go back and watch some things, to be completely honest. But anytime the Winter Olympics is going on and I hear the word bobsled, I am in. And also curling, there's just something cool about that sport. It's just something like, if you ask me the two that I would want to do, I would want to do the bobsled first and curling second, probably, when it comes to the Winter Olympics. But I've made it clear. I got asked the question, like, if you were in the Olympics, what sport? And I said bobsled, and the kids were like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah." And I was like, "Wait, I'm not done." I said strictly the Jamaican bobsled. So I mean, I am a cool running guy through and through, but. Yeah, I would love to be in a bobsled once in my life. And I heard from someone that I think there's a place in New York where you can go on the bobsled track. Like you don't have to be a bobsledder, but you can like do this thing. And if that's true, then, you're probably going to see me there pretty soon. But the bobsled.
That's got to be in Lake Placid, right?
It might be. But I got to find out, because if there's a way to get me in a bobsled, I'm going. I'm definitely.
Yeah, I wonder, like, how do you get into that? How do you start? I want to be a bobsledder. Where do you even go?
I mean, well, and the other thing too is, you have to train with anything, right? So if you've never done it before, you got to jump into this thing with, 3 people that you trust, and you have to navigate on an ice chute, going around and this and that. So, trial and error, right? It's got to be amazing when it goes right and terrifying if it goes wrong. But I want a bobsled at some point in my life. It's in my blood. My question for you, Jerry. Okay, let's see here. If you were swimming on the U.S. national team in the Olympics, what 3 swimmers would you choose to be with?
For a relay?
Yeah.
I guess I'd probably go back to the kind of my younger years with, Brendan Hansen being the breaststroker, maybe Phelps swimming fly, and Aaron Pearsall being the backstroker. Those 3 are kind of the big 3 that stood out in their events in terms of. When I was growing up and looking up to guys.
Okay. I appreciate it. What's your next one for me?
I saw you were at some of the BCS championship celebrations or whatever beforehand. Biggest takeaways from that or best experience from being down there in Miami.
Yeah. So I want to thank God first and foremost, and I want to thank the college football playoff for allowing me. They expanded to 12. I've been at both national championships of the 12 and been through the quarters and the semis, first round, not this past season, the season before. And obviously I cover college football pretty much year round. The experience was crazy. Being on the mega yacht was nuts because I never thought I'd do that in my life. And having the 360 camera thing, that was really, really cool to be a part of that. The food was incredible in Miami. And yeah, every bit of it was great. The JW Marriott Marquis Hotel, I don't know if I'll ever stay anywhere else in Miami. And South Beach was great where the concerts were. Everything was awesome. And I call my coverage DT on the CFP, and I got to go to South Beach and I wrote DT on the CFP in the sand, and I have a video of the water coming up and you have like the name of my show. So that was really cool. But everything was great. And I FaceTimed both of my parents from the beach who both said, I want to be you when I grow up. And that was fun. But like I said, all the credit to God. I work hard. I'm diligent, but he's opened doors I didn't even know were options. So, God's been great. You soak it in, and I've finally become a college coach because when the game ended on January 20th, I woke up and I was like, so when do I get to do another football game? So I'm definitely a coach now in my brain. My question back to you, Jerry, if you could travel, like literally right now, which is perfect timing with all the cold weather we've had in New York, if you were to snap your fingers and teleport somewhere, where would you go and why?
My wife will laugh at this question. She's a big traveler. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm more of a creature of habit and happy enough. Playing golf and doing what I got to do. So we've talked about going to Rome and doing Italy. That would probably be the one trip I'd look forward to most. We're lucky we bring our team down to Florida every January and we train for a week. So we get some beach time during the cold weather. And in the summer we get some beach time. So I think that would be the trip that we would look to do the most. She's been a lot of places she'd like to see a lot, and so we'll figure that out. But I think Rome and the history there and just everything that goes along with the trip to Italy would be really cool.
Yeah, I just had the opportunity to go to Italy for the first time ever. Went to Rome, broadcasted live from Rome and Capri, in the water of Capri, which was nuts. So I would suggest to you to get yourself out there sooner than later. What's your last question for me?
Last question. Outside of big time college football, what's on your bucket list of sporting events to attend?
I would say, I've been to the NCAA tournament. I've been to the championship game. I've Final Four, college football playoff. So I would say I've been to the World Series too. So I would say that the NFL title game. I would say going to the last game in the NFL. That would probably, because the college football playoff, it feels like we're not supposed to say the word Ooper Soul, apparently, because it's only the people that have the rights to it, but it felt like that of college football. So I would say probably the NFL title game for sure. I'd love to do that. My last question for you. I want to go food. What's the one food you can't live without? And then secondly, what's the one food that you go to the grocery store, you see it, and it and you look up at God and go, why did this get created? Like, who in their infinite wisdom decided to create this yuck? So what's the food you can't live without, and what's the thing that if somebody utters it, you're like, oh my gosh, I wish they never made that?
I am a huge pizza guy. I could eat pizza every day,
Okay.
and a lot of it. So that would definitely be mine. In terms of my yuck, tuna fish. I can't do tuna fish. And some of my coaches love it, eat a ton of it. And it's just, there's probably a few on that list, but that would be my biggest, I think.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. When you put pizza up against tuna, I think most people would agree with you. Jerry Cummiskey here with us, Binghamton men's and women's swimming and diving head coach, coming off the 2025-26 season. Jerry, as always, I appreciate your time. I love the backdrop that you have of all those cool things here. So appreciate you so very much. You get the final word, and the final word that I will ask the topic to be is, of all the things that are around you here that we can see on display, what are you most proud of that's behind you?
I've got some family photos there. We've got a new daughter. She's almost a year and a half. So I think that would have to be, what I'm most proud of is her and just watching her grow up and, kind of getting to see her grow up around our team a little bit and them interact with her, has just been really special. So, we talk a lot about family here with our program and combining our two programs and everything. And, our diving coach is actually my wife. So we're living the whole family thing a little bit. So, that would definitely be my most proud thing behind me.
And what's your daughter's name?
Chesney.
So shout out to Chesney, a little bit over a year, and looking forward to everything that you will tell in your story, Chesney. So much love to you and the family. Love that it's a family affair at Binghamton University, that you have that connection. And I'll look forward, as always, Jerry, to talking with you soon.
Appreciate it, Dan. Good to see you.
All right, take care. Good to see you too.
See ya.
That coming from Jerry Cummiskey here at Binghamton University, the Bearcat Breakroom, where we get to bring student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni to the broadcast in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with a fantastic institution you and I both know simply as Binghamton University, one of the top 10 public Ivy League schools in America. Don't you forget it. Not just great student athletes, but that student matters in student athlete at Binghamton University. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, we're going to take our final step aside. We'll be back with the ingredients to success right after this. Stay with us.
This is Jim Dispenza, owner of Game Point Sports Complex. You hear the same story across any sport that kids play and any sport that adults play. There's never enough places to play. That was definitely true with volleyball, definitely true with basketball. Could be cheerleading, it could be field hockey, which is what we're seeing now. Every sport has a lack of places to play, and I think Syracuse in particular is a place where it's really bad. Despite the fact that we've got a lot of athletic talent around here, we just seem to have not enough places for people to play, and they're going to different places. They're going to Rochester, they're going to, Buffalo. They're going all different places because we don't have a place here, and I felt like that should change. This was a long project from planning all the way through execution to opening the doors. A lot of work went into it, obviously, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and the dream always was kids being in the gym, having a good time. And I've always felt like sports is the most unfiltered joy that you can observe with people, that people can experience, because it is fun, it is a sense of accomplishment, it's all of that wrapped into one thing, and so watching kids going up and down the court with big smiles on their faces has been just amazing experience. I'm looking forward to years to come of that same thing. We've taken the time to invest in multiple sports, and then what we're finding is the mere fact that we have a large, clean, well-lit space has opened a lot more doors for us beyond basketball, volleyball, pickleball. Now we're having some interest from cheerleading. We've got girls field hockey coming in, and then also there's quite a bit of room for spectators. We've got bleachers, we've got benches, we've got a concession lounge where people can get food and drinks. We're going to have multiple sports going at the same time, using every square inch of this place for what it was conceived for, which is basically people to come in, have a good time in the sport that they prefer. We manage each situation differently. Everybody has different ability to afford different things. Some are bringing 10, 15 people, some are just 2 people. I've had a lot of situations where it's a father shooting around with his son, it's a mother playing pickleball with her daughter or with her son, and in those situations come up and we work with people, and that's allowed us to have groups from 2 people up to 30 people and have some flexible pricing behind it. We're an organization that is here to work with the community any way we can, and I guess part of it is just making sure that we have the flexibility to put together a plan that makes sense regardless of the size of your group. So in order to book time, the best option is to go to our website, gamepointsports-syr.com. You can click from there and sign up for events, sign up for your own particular training, sign up for birthday parties, all of that.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Brian's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Brian's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So Canine Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. Canine Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that Canine Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making Canine Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry-loving friend. Right, Lily? New York, great cars, great people, great lakes. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, great lakes. Avicolli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicolli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicolli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K9 Campground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's K9, ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K9 Campground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Coming off of a fantastic Topps Rip night, I suggest you get yourself over to my favorite sports card and trading card shop, GG Cards and Breaks. They're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, Sundays from 10 to 5, and you will find singles, packs, boxes, graded cards. So you can look in that display case and take home something that you're seeing right there and saying, hey, that's what I want. Or you can get some packs and boxes and open them up and not know what you're going to get. I like a little bit of both. I like going in there and finding unique cards I want to take home, and then I like going and getting those packs and boxes and having that element of surprise. I've gotten so many great cards from the boxes. Anthony Campbell has the golden touch, so I've let him pick out a bunch of my boxes, and I've come up big with those. And, you know, I've gotten to do a lot of box breaks for GG Cards and Breaks. We got one coming up, so make sure you stay close. You could find all of our card breaks by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the card break playlist, which links back to GG Cards and Breaks. They have amazing products, amazing people, and an amazing atmosphere. A lot of you experienced it just a few days ago, and I look forward to you all experiencing it on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Big time shout out to Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. Chick-fil-A in DeWitt on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard just has those amazing, amazing flavors, whether you're a fan of the grilled, the original, the spicy. Then they have the biggest Chick-fil-A I've ever seen in my life. Giant brick building, double drive-through. You can order on the app, go inside. You can have catering, fundraising, as well as ordering through the drive-through. They have those new frosted beverages. They're bringing that Chick-fil-A flavor, those tastes, that amazing, amazing guest service to Central New York with the biggest Chick-fil-A that I've ever seen anywhere in the country. You can't miss it on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard. They had to get a street light just so they could anticipate and make sure people got through traffic-wise. Megan Sorber and her team out there doing an amazing job, and my experiences at Chick-fil-A in DeWitt have been wonderful. I brought Lily, who loves her Chick-fil-A fries, and her pup cup, so she enjoyed it as well. We'll see you on the corner of Bridge Street and Erie Boulevard today at Chick-fil-A in DeWitt. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, we have one final piece as we broadcast live from the great state of Florida, and that final piece, the ingredients to success. Speaking of piece, you can get a piece of pizza, slice of pizza, by going to Avicolli's today. And, of course, let them know that DT sent you. Avicolli's has those amazing, amazing flavors that I cannot get enough of. Avicolli's when it comes to Italian food, whether you're going there for pizza or you're going there for a dish or some soup, some salad, antipasto, it's all at Avicolli's. It's all waiting for you 7 days a week on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, right down the street from Liverpool High School. You can see Liverpool High School if you stand at the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road, which is where Avicolli's is, and we are there every single month with Liverpool Athletics. We look forward to seeing you there very soon. This edition of the Ingredients to Success topic is have hope. Have hope. You know, what is the world without hope? Who are we without hope? That's the question. Who are we without hope? You know, hope is something that cannot be fleeting in this world. So what are the ingredients to success of having hope? Well, you have to trust. You have to trust in God. I don't know how people live their lives without God. I know some people that watch and listen, they choose to. I know other people are strong believers. And some of you might be in between. I don't know if I do or I don't, Dan. I don't know where I'm at. And I welcome you all to the show because believers and non-believers, you're still all God's kids. And so you have a place in my heart, you have a place in His. And hopefully someday He'll have a place in yours. And, you know, I mean, an ingredient to success of having hope is you have to trust. You have to trust in something. You know, you can't get anywhere in life without trust. And people say, you know, relationships exist based on love. And that's true. Love is a big part of it. There's a lot of things that come with love. But trust is one of those things. Without trust, you got nothing. You could love the heck out of somebody, but if you don't trust them, that relationship will never survive. So in order to have hope, you have to have trust. In order to have hope, you have to have that belief in some things that you can't see, some things that you don't know. You know, hope has to do with the fact that there are things in life that seem impossible, seem insurmountable, seem unattainable. And hope is the thing that helps to get you there, along with hard work, dedication, determination, consistency, being consistently good, not occasionally great. And, you know, I mean, when I think about hope, I think about a sign that my mom gave me when I graduated college. She gave it to me for my first apartment, and I've kept it everywhere. And it's in my studio right over my left shoulder on the broadcast. And it says, hope makes the impossible possible. And that's true. You know, hope makes the impossible possible. When I started my company, I didn't have the money that made sense to start a company. I didn't have the capital. I didn't have any giant backer, investors, none of that. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to do it, the technology I was going to use, what I was going to do How consistent would it be? Where would it be put? How could people access it? But I had hope. I didn't leave the job I was at with all the answers. I didn't leave the job I was at with a full plan that I was like, okay, all this is going to work and we're going to do X, Y, and Z. I knew it was time. And I trusted God that my passion and my love and my heart and my desire and my dedication and my work ethic would get me there, along with all of the things that I had no control of, which came from Him, which come from Him. I had hope in creating my business, that my belief in God, God's love for me, and my work ethic and my passion was enough. That everything I could bring to the table with my love and my desire and my preparation and who I am as a person and the talents God gave me, that all of that, plus my knowledge and my wisdom that I've gained over the years and my experience, could help me to create something that's tangible. Never in my wildest dreams did I think it would be like this, that it would happen this way, but it was. And I can't thank God enough for giving me all of these beautiful things that came from hope. You know, that sign that my mom gave me is a constant reminder that we have to hope. We have to. You may not want to, but without hope, we really don't have anything to look forward to. And when you believe in yourself, when you believe in God, those are the two things to me. Like, my belief in God, my belief in myself, that's going to take me up into the clouds higher than I ever thought I could go. That hope, that faith, that belief. So when it comes to having hope, you have to trust. You got to work hard. You got to be dedicated. You got to have passion. You have to have that faith that even though you may not know how to get there, that you will get there. You know, when somebody puts care into something, you put time into something, what do they say? You are what you focus on. So if you focus on the good, if you focus on your passion, your dreams, helping others, dedicating your life to God, in my opinion, you can achieve anything. If you add God into the equation, you're not going to fail. Because putting God first, believing in yourself, knowing what you're passionate about, chasing those passions, you will always find success. And people say, how? Because I live it. I live it every single day. I would not be able to do what I do today without God, without hope, without faith, without trust. So I ask you to have that today. And I ask you to chase your dreams. Because it's not good enough that you listen to the show and you watch the show, which I appreciate greatly. What'll be good enough to me is when you watch and listen to the show from a place where you're doing what you love and loving what you do. Because I love you all. Because you're my brothers and sisters in Christ. And God bless you. The ingredients to success from Avicolli's right here with you today on Wake Up Call. With that being said, I want to thank you for tuning in to the show. I want to thank you for being a part of it on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, live for you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Once the shows go live, they hop into the archive on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Many thanks to our Central and Upstate New York partners. Make sure you support them as they support me here on the show, and it's one big family. Great Lakes, Honda City, Carvel, DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Myers Creek, Bryant's Landing, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Pizza Man, Mother's Cupboard, Game Point Sports Complex, Chick-fil-A in DeWitt, Avicolli's, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Onondaga Community College Lasers. We just wrapped up our partnership with OCC, and we're in our final week. I want to thank them for the Laser Lounge, student athletes, coaches, and administration joining the show. Appreciate OCC for the work that we got to do together. And 12 and a half years of supporting the Lasers has been something near and dear to my heart. And I want to thank all the coaches I met along the way. Probably couldn't thank anybody more than Rob Edson and Dave Paziak, Chuck Wilbur, Tom McDonald. There's a lot of people that I've met through my time in my coverage. Mike Wheeler of OCC. So I send my love and my appreciation. You can find my content by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the OCC playlist. For more information, go to onondaga.lasers.com. Big time shout out to Binghamton University. In my exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Binghamton, like today, you get to have Bearcat Time every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with your Bearcats. Student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni grace the stage here in what we call the Bearcat Breakroom, as well as my time with athletics director at Binghamton University, Gene Marshall, and what's called simply Moments with Marshall. We have a wonderful special coming up, and I cannot wait to share that with you. Well, so stay close to our social media, as we will have a new guest on the show from Binghamton University. You can find all of our content by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell. Find the Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. I want to thank my guests inside of Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com's What's Poppin'. Shout out to Brendan Murphy for DT and Murphy. We bring you every Monday, but we shifted to Tuesday, and we're able to talk about the Olympics here today and Team USA women's and men's ice hockey, both defeating Team Canada, both 2-1, both with a golden goal, both in overtime. Congratulations to them both. God bless. And to Jerry Cummiskey, speaking of the Olympics, a coach of a wonderful Olympic sports in men's and women's swimming and diving, wrapping up their season here recently. And, of course, the ingredients to success from Avicolli's. Today's topic, have hope. So, I have hope in you. God hopes in you. Please make sure to hope in yourself and to take calculated risks and have hope in others, or else you never truly can build meaningful, wonderful, consistent, and positive relationships. So, make sure you have hope, as hard as it is. Not everybody's out to get you. Not everyone's out to hurt you. And to find true love and true relationship and true connection in this world, we have to hope in each other. So here's to hoping today. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I say God bless, no stress, do your best. Make sure you check out Superpowered Pop and Do Diz with Dan, as I'm pulling triple duty down here in our second home of Florida. I'll talk with you soon from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Be well, stay safe, and stay blessed.